Hi, my name is Gypsa. I am an interior architect and I'm thrilled to have a conversation with you guys. But before I begin, I have a question. Uh, who all here want to live in a beautiful house? Only what? Okay, I'm going to ask again. How many of you want to live in a beautiful house? Everyone, of course. Now I want you to imagine living in your dream home and just share what will you feel? What will you feel? Anyone? If you're living in that beautiful, beautiful house, what's the feeling that you'll get? Joy, of course, happiness. You'll be comfortable living in that house. Relaxed, that's true. Good sleep, oh my god, I can't get enough of this. So, all these words, of course, are not just words, these are feelings that we feel in our home. And our homes are not just rooms, they are a room full of contentment. And today I'm going to talk about how I create rooms full of contentment. And again, I have questions, I have a lot of questions for you guys. There's a very famous book called The Alchemist. Who all have read it? Everyone has read it, yeah, great. I think I was the only one who was left out in reading that book because I don't read novels. But recently, someone gifted that book to me. And is there anything very specific that you guys liked about that book? Or disliked, maybe? Alchemist readers. Nothing? Okay, I have an observation. So when I was towards the end of the book, of course, everything about that book is amazing. It's about realizing your dreams and making them come true. And I stumble upon this line which says, any project is incomplete until its objective is achieved. And I went on to my projects directly in my head. And I thought that what is it that, what is the objective of my projects? What do I want to know? What is the objective? For me, it's 100% contentment. By the end of the projects, I want to feel content. And what are the factors that could contribute to my contentment? Is, of course, happy client. Anyone who's in the service industry would agree with me that we all want to see happy faces of our clients by the end of the project. We'll do anything, we'll die, we'll be the carpet in their house if we can just see that smile in their face. And as a creative person, you want your designs to be unique. Of course, uniqueness of your designs. Then perfect execution. You need everything that you imagined to be perfectly executed in your designs and spaces. And happy teams. Everyone who worked on the project should be really happy and content. I'd like to see them. And lastly, everyone getting paid your worth. This is going to bring a lot of contentment to all of us. And yeah, that's how I create a room full of contentment. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for joining me. It was great to have you all. But is that easy? No, it's not. It's not that easy. And as designers, I feel we're posed with this question a lot, that are we really making an impact on people's lives? Or are we just creating good-looking spaces? And as an interior designer, you get that a lot. Are we just creating beautiful spaces? Or is it actually bringing a value to your people? And another question that I get asked a lot is, what is my style of designing? And I say I don't have a style of designing. All famous designers have, a set line of designing. They feel some of them are, only doing minimalistic interiors. Some of them are doing maximalistic interiors. I don't have that. But I'll get to this point that why don't I have a style of designing? And why don't I have a style of designing? I always say that I have a process of designing. And I feel as designers, we have an amazing opportunity to change people's lives. And every designer knows that you need to combine aesthetic with function. Everyone knows. This is a ground rule. There's no brainer about it. But before we get on to that, how to combine aesthetic with function and how I combine aesthetics with function, I'd like to show you two images and tell me, imagine yourselves in this space and tell me how you feel about it. Mood number one is a completely functional space. It is going to take care of all your requirements, all your needs and necessities. How would you feel in this space? Anyone? Boring. Yeah. Yeah, you'd feel very bland. There's no feeling to it. Anyone else? It definitely is a bland space and it's a totally functional space. Now next, let's move to another mood. And again, please transport yourselves into that room and tell me how you'd feel about it. Completely aesthetic space following the theme. Would you like to live here? Too loud, too busy? Aesthetically following all the thumb rules of the theme with a petrol station also inside it. So we clearly know that, these two things separately won't work. We need to combine them. We need to combine them. So how do we combine them? And what does aesthetic mean? We use this term left, right, center. Instagram, Pinterest, ye wo, flana, dhinka, everywhere we're using this word so much. Aesthetics, aesthetics, aesthetics. What does aesthetic mean? What is it? Good looking. Anyone? Right amount of everything. Okay, okay. Sorry. Good visual alignment. Okay. Sensibility. Aesthetics. Kitna har jagah aesthetics. Clothing, ye, wo, everyone. Find out the aesthetic for this. Pinterest, tuk, 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 aesthetic. Beach aesthetics. What does aesthetic mean? So aesthetic is not equal to beauty, first of all. It is not equal to beauty, and this is what I'd like to emphasize on. And this is what's the basis of how I create rooms full of contentment. What brings contentment to my spaces? So in 1735, there was a book written called Aesthetica by Alexander Baumgarten, where this gentleman coined the term aesthetics, which we're using so much these days. And it essentially means to experience through our senses. And this is the key word in designing spaces for me. So I thought to myself that what are the sensory experiences that I can create for my clients, for the spaces that I design, to bring them contentment. And there are 4 key factors that I swear by in my designs. I swear if you use them in your spaces, you'll also be content. So you might make a note of it. The first and foremost is nature. I use nature in my projects, of course, but there's a study which shows that if you go for a 20-minute walk in this atmosphere versus sitting at home doing nothing, your brain actually works better. It actually is more efficient. And so I can't bring that in my homes. Of course, it's a forest. But this study cannot be ignored. I needed to do something about it. And so I make sure that the homes that I design are biophilic in nature. I do bring the outdoors, indoors in every project that I do. I make sure of using a lot of greens also on the inside and making them accessible outside the windows. The next point is lighting. Lighting is, look at this image. This is how nature has intended us to be. And throughout the day, during the earlier hours, the light is more blue. And as we progress in the day, the light is more yellow. This is how nature wants us to be, because we are required to be more active during the daytime. And we need to be more alert. Like here, when we are studying, we need to be more alert, so we need to have blue lights. But that doesn't work in homes. In homes, we need to have relaxed, layered lighting, which just automatically prepares us for a relaxed sleep. Like someone here mentioned, you need to have a relaxed sleep, people. So that's why in homes, I do stick to relaxed, serene, and cozy temperature lightings, which is 300 to 2200 Kelvin. And I swear by this rule, if you use warm lightings, you will sleep peacefully at night. Before I take you to this point, I want you all to take a deep breath with me. Deep cleansing breath. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Once again, in through your nose, out through your mouth. I think I feel relaxed by it. I don't know about you guys. So the third point is, of course, the atmosphere. And there was a study conducted on the astronauts which spend days and months and weeks away from home in this sort of atmosphere, where, of course, they have this sad little window to gaze out and look at their home planet. And, of course, they're missing their families and friends. But when they're asked, what is the next most important thing that they're missing after their families and friends? Any guesses what that would be? Their bed. Yeah, I must miss that too. Sound. Okay. What would they miss? Trees. Yes, of course. Can't hear you. Smell? Smell? Okay, interesting. The freedom to walk around outside. Oh my God, you just said it. They miss the fresh air. That is the right answer. They miss the fresh air. It's so obvious to us that we don't even realize that we need it so much. Ask the astronauts. And so we need to create well-ventilated homes. And this is my number 3 point, which is really important. Of course, ask the astronauts. Fresh air it is. And number 4, and the final point, is organized spaces. I get very excited about this. Look at this image. Please feel like you are living in this room. How would you feel? Anxious. That's so true. Not mine. How would you feel living in this room? Confused? Confused, yes. Uninspired. I mean, practically dead, right? Drained. Drained, you feel tired, right? Anyone else? Chaotic. You will feel so chaotic in this space. And so there was a study which was conducted on this chaos and clutter, and it has stayed with me forever and ever. And I swear by this. I use this in all the projects that I use and design. So a study was conducted where the stress levels, anxiety and stress levels caused by clutter were measured, and they were measured to be same as that of a post-traumatic stress disorder. Young mothers especially, of course they love their kids, we all love kids, and we can't throw them out of the house, of course, and they create a lot of mess. But so these young mothers, they don't have an option, of course. The kids create clutter, and the amount of stress that these young mothers were facing and experiencing was actually equal to the stress experienced by a warrior after war. I mean, a soldier who has returned from war, that's insane. Our mothers went through that amount of stress level. We don't need it, people. We really can eliminate that amount of stress from our lives. And we really need to make our mothers more comfortable. And so we can definitely come up with solutions which have specific storage solutions for their specific living style and their needs, and to reduce clutter. I mean, imagine poche ki balti rakhne ke liye maar gaye yaar. Yeah, imagine going into a balcony like that where everything is concealed and properly in place. Our lives would be so much sorted. And so we need to create solutions which are user specific and storage solutions which are useful for our end user. And let me tell you, there are no thumb rules when you're designing homes. It's only about the client who's using it, understanding their requirements, and then just applying it on designs wherever you can. There are no standard heights, there are no standard dimensions to follow. And so my approach in designing is combining nature-inspired aesthetics with my client's style and functional needs, because it's not my home, it's my client's home. And your homes are an extension of your persona. And as interior designers, we're just tools for them to create their style in their home and create a beautiful space for them and rooms full of contentment. And that's how I design spaces that bring delight to their senses. And that's how I create rooms full of contentment by these 4 rules. And before I go, I'm going to leave you guys with a small video which shows my projects in which I've used all these thumb rules. Thank you very much.
Thank you.